she is absolutely determined to prove to everyone that she is in fact a mermaid, no matter how much blood she has to spill to do it. Hello, my librarians. Welcome to the queerest book-filled corner on the internet. In case you are new here, I am everyone's favorite lesbian book lover and writer, and I make queer book and writing content across all identities and genres. Thank you so much for tuning in today. It genuinely means the world to me because your continued support means my ability to continue making this content. Now, today is an exciting video because it's my first one. So thank you for the warm welcome. Yes, it is premature, but I am speaking it into existence. And yes, I do have my microphone attached to a hair clip. So without further ado, let's get into the Booktuber tag. I just kind of thought that would be a good introduction to my YouTube because I feel like a lot of you are coming from my other social media and I don't really show my face or talk about me as a creator ever. So I'm oddly nervous for this, but let's just get into it. Also, I will leave the creator who actually made this tag in the description below, so make sure to check them out. All credit goes to them for these questions. Who are you? Share a little bit about yourself. My name is Maddie, or I think a lot of you know me as the Lesbian Library. My pronouns are they, them, and I am, as I said, a queer writer and bookish content creator. I am a Washington State native. I grew up in Western Washington. I currently live in a small town in Eastern Washington. I have a degree in psychology and sociology, but I originally went to school for vocal performance and pedagogy, so a little bit of a shift. Now I do books. A little bit of a shift. Some non-bookish things I am really passionate about and enjoy are
horror movies, gardening, crocheting, veganism, volunteering / mutual aid, abolition, and being as self-sustainable and self-reliant as possible.
I also recently got engaged to my former girlfriend, my fiance of 5.5 years almost, and we do have a 5-year-old cat named Leia, so you do that math. And I am completely obsessed with Carmilla, sapphic vampires in general, but specifically Carmilla just holds this place in my heart. And it is actually my goal to own and see and read and consume every single Carmilla iteration that has ever existed, will ever exist. So I have many to go, but I will get there. Sorry if those last 2 clips were a little dark. My lighting was just not wanting to work with me. How long have you been on Booktube? And I feel like for a lot of these questions, because I am originally a Bookstagrammer, I will kind of use that as my go-to. But I officially started my book journey after I graduated college back in March of 2022. Instagram has been my main medium for the past couple of years. Originally it was TikTok. I kind of moved away from that. Now I'm getting back into it, and now I do Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Patreon. There's a podcast in the works, and I also do Substack articles and book reviews. So it has been about 3 years, but I'm a reader my whole life. What kind of books do you love to read? Has Booktube or Bookstagram had an effect on what you read? Absolutely it has. I feel like just seeing so many interesting books from so many fantastic creators has really skewed my reading. I originally first only read like straight thrillers. That was like what got me into this reading journey. So now I have completely diversified that. My favorite genre to read is horror. Obviously all of these are within the LGBTQIA plus genre. I do view that as like an all-encompassing thing, and then these genres are just within that. So horror is definitely my number one. I have so many amazing horror books back here, and so many more that I want to get that I'm just obsessed with. And then I also love reading literary and contemporary, romance, fantasy, love memoirs. I'm a memoir person, and like nonfiction. I have a lot of nonfiction here, but it's mainly memoirs. Also poetry. I write poetry, so I think I have a very special place in my heart for the genre. It's so good. I do only read queer books now, except for a couple of nonfiction works like Angela Davis and things like that that aren't inherently queer, but they do have a place in queer knowledge, I think, and resistance, you could say. What do you enjoy about making Booktube videos, or I'll say Bookstagram content just in general. It truly is the best thing that I've ever done. I actually left my full-time corporate 9-to-5 working in fashion sales of all things to come do this full-time, just because I truly believe in it so much. The indie works that I have been privy to now that I never would have known before, the community that I have gained, you know, even not even just community, but the people that I've been able to learn from and take inspiration from and just really enjoy and support their work has been amazing. Like, for example, my book club, I would have never been able to start that or generate it if I didn't have this bookish background. I think if you haven't joined, you should join. It's the Lesbian Librarians. Find us on Instagram, I'll link it down there. We meet virtually and in person once a month to discuss our queer book pick. It is currently only fiction, but maybe we'll incorporate in some non-fiction. So I really enjoy everything about it, but specifically I do think the community has to win out. How can it not? What do you not enjoy about making bookish content? I think the only real downside is crappy authors. There have been a handful of times where I read a book and then found out some really horrific, nasty stuff about the author, and it really sucked because this is a book that I want to discuss and I want to promote, but I can't because the ethics just aren't there for that author, whether it is transphobia, biphobia, racism, sexism. There's a lot of bullying, I think, in that world, so it's really hard to separate that, the art from the artist, but at the end of the day, you can't separate them. Maybe also editing. I suck at all types of editing. I'm the type of person where I just want to bleh it out and like be done. That is not the case with anything that I do. So I think that has to be something. I'm getting better at it. I'm getting better. Video editing, writing editing, photo editing, the whole thing. I'm getting better, but it is not easy. What on your channel are you most proud of? I think it has to be my Sapphic Rex based on series. Either that or some of the new content that I'm putting out that is a little bit more maybe journalistic and maybe more reader oriented, like about IMLS and all the stuff going on with that. Being a reader during a recession, ethically and sustainably buying books. But then the Sapphic based on series is so fun. Like I've done Sapphic book recommendations based on your favorite Dochi song, based on your favorite Sapphic movie. There have just been so many. I actually have a Substack article coming out that's like, if you liked this Sapphic movie, you'll love these Sapphic book recommendations. So it's just really allowed me to use my creativity, I think, in a way that I otherwise wouldn't have. And it's not just being like, I read this book, here's your review, here you go. It takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of energy and effort to make those posts, and I'm always really proud of them. I think the Sapphic book recs based on your gay cartoon awakening is actually my best performing post that I've ever done. So I will have to kind of elaborate on that a little bit eventually. Is there anything you wish was different about Booktube or Bookstagram? I do wish more creators would focus on posting diverse content. I know it is not super easy for some people. I don't know, maybe if it's the amount of learning they have to do or just a general like not really caring about it, but I do see a lot of the same works being reposted, and obviously like I'm guilty of that sometimes because like some of these works are worth the hype and I do want to promote them, but there are so many other books out there that aren't just the same like 8 Sapphic romance novels or 10 Sapphic fantasy books, and they're always, not always, they are majority white cis individuals. So there's just not a lot of variety, there's not a lot of diversity, and there's not a lot of different perspectives that I think the community in general would really benefit from. Obviously, I'm still learning and I have a lot to learn, but I will say in the 3 years since I started, I've come a long way, and I don't think it's that hard. You know what I mean? Like, it does take effort, it does take time, it does take conscious unlearning and relearning and restructuring, but it's not the hardest thing in the world to do. I think it's actually a very important thing to do. So I do wish more people would focus on that aspect of it. Also, AI. I know there are creators right now that are using AI to generate their content, and it makes me a little nauseous, like even talking about it. It's just not something that I can stand behind. I've hated it since the start. If AI has no haters, then I am dead. Like, deceased. So I hate it. If you use AI, shut the fuck up right now. Like, click off this. You do not belong here. Please leave. It's just not. It's not cool. Name 3 books that you have reviewed on your channel that you feel represent who you are as a reader. I don't even know how I'm gonna like begin to do this. I would have to say number 1 is Chlorine by Jade Song. It is a body horror coming of age about an individual who is a swimmer, and that's kind of like her whole life. You know, she's a first generation American, and she's also obsessed with mermaids. Reality starts to bend and twist and become a little different because she is absolutely determined to prove to everyone that she is in fact a mermaid, no matter how much blood she has to spill to do it. So I have read this book twice. I'm gonna read it again this year. It's a yearly thing for me. It is so good. I feel like it is what made me fall in love with body horror as a book genre. It discusses mental health themes really well. And the ending, I could go on about it for days. And I'm only using books that I have specifically reviewed on my channel, not books that I have just read, because if it was just read, totally different list. But these are books that I have actively reviewed, so you can find these reviews on my Substack. If you are interested, I recommend checking them out. An Education of Malice by S.C. Gibson. It is a Carmilla retelling, but it is like a 1950s gothic academia, like dark academia vibe. There's polyamory, there's a little bit of kink involved, and then of course there's vampires. It's dual POV. It's so good. I will like scream from the rooftops how good this book is. Although it's not as good as A Dowry of Blood, which is her other work, but for a Carmilla iteration, it is amazing. I think it takes a lot of liberty with the characters and the characterization, but in a really fun way. And the dynamic between the two characters is fantastic. I think the author writes sexual tension really, really well, and it's just very erotic. It's just a horny book, but then there's like murder. So the atmosphere is fantastic. And then last, I think I have to go with A Little Kissing Between Friends by Chintzia C. Higgins. This book, talk about sexual tension. It is a friends to lovers romance. It has plus size representation. Also, one of the main characters is a bisexual, exotic dancing single mother. So amazing. And then her love interest is her friend, and she is a music producer and a masked lesbian, but like a stud. And she's hot. For a book character, she's very hot. And I just love the way that they bounce off of each other. I love the way that the romance is written between the two characters. I love the way the characters are written. I think they are total individuals. They really do stand out against the page. They feel like real people I would meet, just going about life. And there are people that I would love to actually have in real life. And there's also like great family dynamics. It's a good, solid romance book. I highly recommend. Name 3 booktubers whose content inspires you. I will probably go with 1 booktuber and 2 bookstagrammers, just because that's where I come from. And this is embarrassing because they probably have no idea. Okay, one person I do know knows who I am because they've commented on my stuff before, but Spoonie.reads, I'll put their links down below for everyone, but Spoonie.reads on Instagram is so fantastic. Their photography is really amazing, and their reviews are everything that I aspire to be. Like, their page is so aesthetic. I love it, and I want to be them. And we also have the exact same taste in author and like books. Kind of think the same. Great minds. And then also Bisexualbookshelf. They're actually a really new account on Bookstagram. I want to say they've been there less than a year. And I just love their graphics. They have a really fun page. I think it really pops out. I love their abolition recommendations as well. I think they have a really well-rounded page. And I just really enjoy whenever I'm on their stuff. And then for booktubers, it's Georgia May, M-A or MaREADS. I just really love her content. I think it's edited really well. I think it's stylistically something that I admire. And then also she does great recommendations. It has really interesting video ideas. I feel like even if you just stumble upon her page, you'll take away something from it. Okay, now name 3 bookish content creators that you think deserve more hype. For bookstagrammers, I have to say it's Hotgirlreadingforfun. This is a close personal friend of mine, so that is a little bit of a plug, but she has really amazing bookish photography, great recommendations, and just has like the weirdest books, but they're also really interesting. She also has gorgeous bookshelves, like an arch. It's built into her apartment. It's everything I want. Go check her out. And then also Booksbyjanda. Okay, this is the cutest married couple you will ever see in your entire life. Actually, we met because they joined my book club, and now we have just become friends outside of it. Their content's really amazing. I think they have fantastic book recommendations. If you're looking for good queer horror book recommendations, make sure to check out their page. They are newer too, and they've just been doing such amazing things in the short amount of time that they have been creating, so I highly recommend them. And then for booktubers, I really like Books with Samantha. I feel like she has fun videos. I love her content style, and then also just her recommendations are fantastic. I feel like I've gotten a ton of books to add to my TBR from what I've seen from her, and I feel like she deserves 100% more hype. Thank you so much again for watching and investing in yourself by diversifying your TBR. I know I didn't talk about a ton of books today, but the 3 that I did are somewhat diverse. I sincerely hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to show the love by like, comment, subscribe, share it out with the world, and don't forget to check out all my other bookish channels: Patreon, Podcast in the Works, Substack, Instagram, TikTok. My Patreon and Substack also have really awesome bonus content for my paid subscribers, and perhaps here will too. Time will tell. Anywho, thank you for like the 80th time for watching, and I'll see you next time. Happy reading.